What up, hooligans? It's Jennifer, and guys, I have an announcement. We only have less than 2 months of ELOS left, and I am feeling very sad about it. So today, I have a very exciting video. It's exciting for me because I've wanted to do this for so long, but I've never gotten around to it. I'm gonna be doing a video all about embroidering things. It's more of like a learn with me, embroider with me type of thing. I think honestly, embroidering has become one of my top hobbies. And this is me completely embracing the fact that I am 21 years old and already going into my grandma phase. Next thing you know, I get a rocking chair and I start knitting. Honestly, it sounds very fun to me. I'm not gonna lie to you, embroidering does take an insanely long amount of time. But if you're bored one day and you have a couple episodes of some show that you wanna binge and you wanna fiddle with something while watching that, you can embroider something. Speaking of binging shows, well, actually, I don't know if this is a good segue. Actually, not a good segue at all. But this video is sponsored by LG, and I am so excited to show you guys their new LG G8X ThinQ phone. Here is my little baby. And yeah, it's pretty by itself, it's cool, it's a sleek phone. However, the selling point is really that it has this dual screen accessory. So if you want that extra screen, you can just pop that baby in and you have double the screen. I am so excited about this. I've been using this so much because it helps a lot with productivity and just multitasking and all that kind of stuff. So throughout the video, I'm just gonna be showing you guys how I use the phone and the dual screen in my daily life and while I film. Yeah, I'm super excited about this video, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to the voiceover. So I'm gonna start out this project by getting materials. I'm doing this online because you guys know I never leave my room. So I'm gonna be buying all my materials online on my new LG G8X phone, which is, by the way, super freaking pretty. Since I don't have any embroidery materials, I just searched up an entire embroidery kit, and with the dual screen accessory, I can actually compare prices for different product options, which is so insanely useful so that you don't have to have different screens open or different tabs open and go back and forth. Okay, so the kit that I ended up getting included some embroidery hoops, embroidery thread, and a bunch of little accessories and needles and such. All right, that's it for materials. Next, I headed to Pinterest for some inspiration. I was looking for something cute, but relatively easy to do since I am a beginner. I knew that embroidering anything would take a long time, so I tried to look for things that had the possibility of looking really cool, but seemed pretty simple to do. So here I'm just opening up the Notes app on the second screen and jotting down all the ideas that I possibly want to do. Also because I am literally the most indecisive person on the entire planet, I had to get some input from a third party, and I feel like this right here is proof of how useful the dual screens can be because you can chat on one screen and not interrupt whatever you're doing on the other screen. And the dual screen also allows for the LG Smart Keyboard that's kind of like laptop or tablet style, and it doesn't block any content on your screen. Honestly, I'm just so amazed by technology these days, and I feel like such a grandma by saying that, but I'm just embracing that fact now. So for the first embroidery project, I found this picture on Pinterest of these galaxy embroidered jeans, and I thought they were so cute. Because I didn't want to get bored during the hours of embroidery I was about to endure, I just popped on a YouTube video on the second screen and was able to keep the reference photo on the first screen. I'm starting out with this white embroidery floss, so it usually comes in 6 strands, and I'm separating it into 2 groups of 3 strands each, and then I'm threading it through the needle so that when it doubles up, it is back to 6 strands. I actually used this fancy little tool that came with my embroidery kit, and it was super easy. And then I tied a knot at the end of my thread, and then I just started embroidering. So first I'm gonna start out with a moon. I'm just doing a regular running stitch. Is that what it's called? I feel like I'm gonna make up a bunch of my own names for these stitches in this video, so be prepared. So I didn't draw out anything beforehand because I wanted this to look a little bit messy and hand sewn looking. So I did the crescent shape, and then I just filled in a little bit of the shadows on the side.
That is a habit I never had.
And And then I started adding some stars, but I ran out of thread, so here's how you can tie it off at the back. You can either anchor your thread to a thread of your fabric or your embroidery thread. So I threaded my thread through one of the embroidery threads. Oh my god, that's a lot of threads in one sentence. And then I just tied 2 knots to make it secure, and that is it. After that, I continued with a new piece of thread. I just did a bunch of stars and little circles and different things that would appear in the night sky. The little stars are the easiest because they're just like one short little horizontal line. One step up from that would be to add a vertical line to make it a cross. And then the stars are a little bit more complex. I would recommend actually drawing it out with a piece of chalk or a pencil or something like that so that it's easier to reference where you need to sew. So after I finished sewing all of my white patterns, I moved along to the black embroidery thread, did pretty much the exact same thing, just filling in the parts that I thought needed filling, and that's pretty much it. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but this did take me like 2-3 hours. Embroidery will really do it to you, but I think it turned out really cute, and here are some really awkward, unflattering shots of my butt. Okay, for the next one, I actually got this shirt from the thrift store a while ago, and I love the color, but it's completely plain, and I decided I wanted to embroider some letters onto there. So I just searched up the Futura bold font to reference the letters. In the meantime, I put on some bops on the other screen, and what's cool about this 360 hinge is it also acts like a stand. So I just propped that screen up for easy reference, and then I just started drawing out my letters. The word that I decided on was elos. So I chose some pretty pastel colors for the letters. Each one was a different color. I started out with pink, did the exact same thing as before by splitting it up into groups of 3 strands, and now I'm using an embroidery hoop. This is my first time using an embroidery hoop, so I felt very professional. So I just put the smaller hoop on the inside and then the bigger hoop on the outside, and then I started outlining my letters using a running stitch? Question mark, question mark, question mark? But then I realized that since my fabric is very soft, I needed to stiffen it up. So I tore off a section of this fabric stabilizer that I got. It just, I guess just stabilizes the fabric so it's easier to sew and so it doesn't wobble around so much. I just ironed this onto the back of the shirt and then proceeded on with continuing to outline my letter. Okay, after I finished outlining the letter, I started filling in the letter with a satin stitch. Ooh, professional. I know what the stitch is called. Basically, I am just making stitches that go from the outer outline to the inner outline, and this, I'm not gonna lie, it takes a very long time. However, we've already established the fact that this is like one of the greatest pleasures in life for me, so you already know I was having a grand old time.
Like, ooh, yeah. Patience is a virtue when I'm moving. At my life, it's a movie.
When I got to the middle of the E, I switched to vertical stitches, and after I filled that in, the E was finished, and honestly, not too shabby. Then I just proceeded with the rest of the letters, doing the exact same thing, outlining first and then filling in with a satin stitch. Okay, so a lot of you guys don't know what elos is and constantly ask me like on Instagram and in the comment section. Basically, at the beginning of the year, I put in my lightbox, welcome to 2019, but 2019 was spelled backwards. For some reason, I thought it would look cool in my mind, but in reality, it kind of looked dumb and like nobody knew what was going on. And I realized it looked like elos, which is not a real word, but it kind of stuck, and now I feel like it's kind of a cute word. And since we only have less than 2 months left of elos, which is very tragic, I wanted to immortalize elos by embroidering it onto a shirt. And it's going pretty well.
They rather see you sleep than to see you walk, little bitch. I'm about to take it to the house. See, self-belief gon' die in me. Rain humble, no lie in me.
So after I finished all of the letters, 4 hours had passed. So an hour per letter, which is absolutely insane. Like, you wouldn't think that by seeing these little letters on a shirt. But after that, I tied off the thread at the back and tore off the stabilizer. And now I have my ELO shirt, and I think it is so cute. I sent a picture of this to my friend, and he thought it was my merch, which now that I'm thinking about it, it would be kind of cute merch, so let me know if this is something that you would want. And here's just me chilling on the floor, having a good time, and oh, I guess I'm a gamer girl now. I'm just playing some Fortnite. And oh, with the dual screen, you can access the LG gamepad, which basically is like a controller, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I think the shirt is so cute. I think it turned out really, really well, even though it did take a long time, but I think it was fully worth it.
Just how you can have the highs with.
So for the third DIY, I wanted to try making a daisy embroidered bucket hat. I've been loving bucket hats lately. I don't usually wear hats, but I will wear a good bucket hat. So I found some really good tutorials on how to embroider daisies, and they're relatively simple, but they do take a little bit of practice. I'll link this tutorial down below because it's kind of hard to explain in words. I'm doing 6 petals per flower. Here's my attempt at the first one. I ended up just chopping it up because I thought it looked terrible. So then I started again, and I think my second attempt was a lot better. I still can't figure out how other people make their thread so smooth. Mine keeps like separating, so it doesn't look as clean as other people's, but you know what? It's fine. So I did 5 flowers in total. So once I finished the white petals, it was onto the middle of the flowers, so I just used this yellow thread. I pulled up the middle and then made a bunch of loops around the needle and then stuck it right through the middle again and then pulled tight. And after a couple simple steps, you have a pollen allergy's worst nightmare. Okay, but I think this hat turned out so cute. I am going to cry because I am obsessed with it. I just love bucket hats and everything that they stand for. When your hair is looking bad, these will completely hide the roots, and it's still really roomy, so your head has room to breathe versus like baseball caps. Can you tell I'm just a very big advocate for bucket hats? Hoping it's far away, never comes the day when I lose you. So those are the embroidery DIYs. Hope you guys got some inspo. I feel like this video is basically me trying to convince you guys to turn full grandma mode with me so I don't feel so alone. I also just want to pop in here and let you guys know about LG's trial program for this G8X phone. So I'll leave the link in the description box, but basically you have the chance to receive this phone and try it out for yourself. I just think this phone is so cool. It's like a regular size phone when you need it to, and then like tablet size when you need it to. There's so many like multitasking things that I love because usually I have multiple screens open. I'll have my laptop and then my phone because I need to do different things. But with this phone, you just need the 2 screens and you're pretty much set. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again to LG for sponsoring this video. Shout out of the week is right here, and that is pretty much it. I will see you guys next time. Bye! Waking up in the morning.